So today I got a pretty good block of time available so I can do some recording. It's about 6 p.m. and I could probably record until 3 a.m. I have many songs that I have been working on simultaneously, but for some reason today I decided to record a song that I have been writing with the goth band The Crystal Tears. I have been collaborating with them now for over 2 years, and my musical role with them is playing the cello, violin, guitar, singing, and writing songs as well. Although writing songs is the most interesting and the most important thing to me, the downside is that it can be very time consuming and it's difficult to find enough available time to work on it. That's why today I would like to record as many instrument tracks as possible. So after listening to the audio sketch we made some weeks ago, I realized the song started with some deep sounding drums, intended to resonate like ancient indigenous handmade drums. Without saying too much and spoiling it, this song is going to be about our ancient native ancestors. That's why I felt the need to add drumming as an introduction. Drums are about the oldest kind of instrument there is. So I thought it would portray how far back in time I'm thinking for this song. Unfortunately, I don't own any drums of this sort, so I thought that with enough tinkering, I could make the drum kit I have sound close enough to the sound I'm going for. So after picking up my drum kit from the storage room, I would need to figure out how to set it up, how to tune it, and get the resonance I'm looking for, and what kind of mics to use and where to put them. Okay, so the first issue I needed to fix was all of this rattling caused by loose screws that would normally be tight if it was set up as the drum kit was designed to be. Then I needed to figure out where to support it and what kind of a stand to use. And after trying a guitar amp stand to improvise a bass drum stand, I realized that the kick drum was still not resonating for long enough for me to get the sound I wanted. So I decided to remove the pillow that I have put inside to dampen the extra vibration that you would normally not want in a drum kit that you would use for rock. Okay, so now let's try it again. Okay, so this is a lot closer. But still, something is muffling it. Some of the vibration still seems to be coming from the guitar amp stand, so I'm gonna have to use something else. It needs to be something that allows a kick drum to be leaned diagonally to allow both sides of the drum to resonate freely. So I rolled in my big office chair and I was able to secure the kick drum on it. It's a little high, but I can deal with that. Okay, let's try it now. Wow, this is much better. So after muffling the excess vibration from the smaller floor tom by attaching a cleaning towel with some masking tape, I could adjust the sound I was looking for. So now it's time to set up the mics. I'm going to start with this condenser mic that does a good job of capturing a wide frequency range. It is my trusty Audio-Technica 4033. I plugged it into my Universal Audio Twinfinity mic preamp that I use on just about every recording because it sounds fantastic with just about everything. Okay, so now let's do these level checks. Okay, it looks like I'm ready to record. Let's do a take. Okay, that felt pretty good, but as I'm listening to it, I realize that it doesn't have enough bass. I wonder if this mic should be behind me facing the drum heads. Preferably a little bit further to get rid of the proximity effect, just in case. Okay, let's try another take. Wow, I like how these drums are sounding by themselves. Now let's see how they sound through the mic. Okay, it's still lacking that punch that I'm hearing when I'm playing them, but I don't hear it on the recording. I suppose this mic is not the right one for the job, so I'm gonna try some dynamic mics instead. That way, I'll be able to place them really close to the drum heads and see what happens. For the floor tom, I'm gonna use this Sennheiser clip-on design. It's really easy to set up, it's out of the way of the drumsticks, and it always sounds great. I'm using this Shure kick drum mic to capture as much low-end frequency as possible up close. But now, since I'm using two mics and my preamp only has one input, looks like I'm gonna have to use my mixer. I like to use an analog mixer to sum up all of my signal sources in the analog realm because I have done all of this digitally before. And in comparison, using any kind of analog gear for preamps, EQ, and summing always sounds better to my ears. This is a technique that was used to record hundreds of great records throughout the 60s and 70s, when recording channels were very limited and producers and engineers had to figure out creative ways to group instruments on a mixing board before committing it to tape. They had very limited means of technology back then, and it is all of these choices that gave each record its own unique character. I am also sending the mono mix through my Twinfinity preamp, so I can get the lively dynamics of the sound mixer with its own EQ, as well as the tone color of the Universal Audio mic preamp. And on top of that, I might as well go all in if I want these toms to sound boomy and bassy. And I'm gonna use the Neve 1073 preamp and EQ plugin so that I can get some drive and saturation and possibly a little bit more bottom end. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, let's listen back. Wow, this sounds huge. I think we got it, although just to compare, because I love to iterate, I'm gonna do another take without any digital processing, leaving only the mixing board and the mic preamp as the processors. Because I'm getting the feeling that using the Neve plugin made it sound so big that now it seems unnatural, which is not what I want. My intention when recording acoustic instruments is to get the most realistic rendering, since I love the natural sound of a good instrument with a good performance. Okay, here goes take number 4. Wow, I love what I'm listening to. I think I'm gonna leave it the way it is, and I'm gonna do one more take this time, just because I think I can do a better job with the accented beats, and I am now more used to these heavier mallets. Awesome, I'm gonna keep this. This is definitely sounding natural. It sounds bassy enough, it has enough sustain, it is very dynamic, and most importantly, I feel that it captures the feel that I needed for this song. Okay, time to do the cello parts. First, we have this spiccato style cello part that's supposed to sound a lot like an upright bass. Then we have this heavy sounding power chords section using the bow. It is surprising how an instrument like the cello can sound so much like a heavily distorted, down-tuned electric guitar. Okay, so now some staccato highlights for the power chord section. And then there are a few melodic sections, which are short instrumental interludes at different sections of this song. Nice. So now moving on to the classical guitar. This one only calls for lightly arpeggiated chords, to which later I'm going to add some delay and reverb on top of that. And I might also layer a synth sound of a 12-string guitar with lots of delay and reverb to add some vague sparkle to this effect. Great, that's it. Okay, it looks like it's 11:30 p.m. Just in time for lunch.